Hi, Watchful. I missed you.
I missed you too. I'm drinking.
You're drinking for this? Man, I should go get whiskey. We're making a tier list, but it's not a tier list of Pokemon that we picked for ourselves.
You all may have been expecting us to do the very best, but since this is coming out on April 1st, nope, you're getting the worst. We
I
all we collaborated and picked out our least favorite and worst Pokemon.
I actually timed a holiday for once. This is the
Yeah.
first time I've made a video that's gonna release on the right holiday. So we picked out each other's worst Pokemon and then sent them to each other. So I
Yes.
have Watchful's most hated Pokemon, and he has mine. And it turns out my list is longer. Whoops.
Yeah. I capped it at 20. I didn't realize we were gonna go further than that, but
The other person's going to tell them what's come up on the list, and they're going to justify why they don't like it. And then I'm going to explain where I'm going. And then the person who has the Pokemon, so if Watchful doesn't like, say, unknown and explains it, then I'm going to explain what I think about them, and then I'm going to rate Watchful's Pokemon, and Watchful's going to rate mine. So if you want to see how each list turns out, you have to go to the other one's channel.
yes.
Well, since you got to do two per, I guess we should start with you. I'm sorry I made you do extra work.
It's fine. Yeah, first up on my list is Voltund.
No, what's first up on
Oh,
your screen?
on my screen? Well, Charizard is
Yeah.
the first one.
Okay, I don't like Charizard. Just come out and say it. I do not like Charizard. I have a Charizard in my Pokemon home that is a champion from our very first Pokemon game. I still don't like Charizard. He's got an awful set of weaknesses. Talonflame, better flying fire Pokemon. Prove me wrong. And he gets everything. He gets Mega Evolutions. He gets every like special thing ever. He's in every single game, and I just stare at him and I'm like, I got my bird. You just a wannabe dragon.
Let's not forget he was also the starter in the Pokemon Origins anime.
That too. That too. No more Charizard. Alright,
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Charizard?
My thing is, I'm putting Charizard in mid because I do partially agree with like all your complaints that Charizard gets way more love than they possibly could even deserve, considering their stats and the moves they learn. But that being said, I do at the very least like Charizard's design, and its Mega Evolutions are awesome. But I agree, Game Freak, please stop. Next up, we got Weedle.
Weedle, okay. So for a start, I don't like Weedle's entire line.
So you don't like Weedle, Beedrill, or Kakuna?
I don't like Weedle, Beedrill, or Kakuna. I don't like Beedrill because one, I'm allergic to bee stings, like deathly allergic.
Ooh.
So that's strike one. Strike two for me. Like we got a Kakuna in Pokemon X, and we named it Miss Take. It's been nice as a Pokemon in battle, but it freaks me right the heck out every time I see it, because all I can see is the three bee stingers ready to impale me, and I'm like, nope, nope, that's a lot of nope. So and Weedle is the start of it, and I assume that Weedle has the same poison as Beedrill, which is not helping.
Yeah, it's got two, one in its head and one in its tail.
So how you feel about Weedle? Where does Weedle actually belong?
I think Weedle does belong in the shit category for one simple and only reason. The second I get a Caterpie, I never even bother with the Weedle line.
I know, right? And Butterfree's pretty.
Yeah, Butterfree's pretty and has decent stats for a bug type.
All right, my turn to do one of yours. And the first thing in the pictures here is Zubat. Why don't you like Zubat? I gotta hear this.
Like, I think I partially hate Zubat because of my undying racism towards bats in games in general. I hate bats in video games, period. because they're fucking everywhere. And it doesn't help that Zubat has Garbo stats, and they're fucking everywhere in the first couple gens whenever you go into caves.
Zubat. Okay, so for me, I don't like Golbat, but I like Zubat and Crobat. I like Zubat because in games, honestly, Zubat is useful because Zubat provides a speed EV. So whenever I'm trying to increase a Pokemon's speed, I know go find Zubats. They're gonna be everywhere in those caves. Just go find the cave with the Zubats and just have at it. The other reason is like when I'm training against them with Pokemon, they're really easy for to get knocked out. So it's not something I really have to worry about knocking someone unconscious. The other thing is just I like the design of a bat that's actually blind with no eyes, and I hate Golbat. That big mouth at the game where it shows up with human teeth, and I'm just like, just give me Crobat, it's fine. So Zubat, just I feel like I could get along with it. That's the category, by the way. I definitely can get along with Zubat. All right.
I will say this: I love Brock's Zubat in the anime. He's cute.
Yeah, in the anime, his Zubat and it turns into a Golbat and a Crobat, and in all three stages, it somehow makes it where it's a nice Pokemon. I still don't like a Golbat, but I don't hate it.
I get.
All right. All right. So to keep us on track, because I have a lot more than Watchful does, and I apologize for that, but that means Watchful has to do 2 to my 1. So, what's next on your on your list?
Rattata. Don't like rats.
I'm sorry. The rats are wonderful creatures, but there are so many better things they could have done than Raticate and Rattata. I'm sorry. I would rather have if Rattata evolved into the Capybara Pokemon. Oh, I'm in.
Oh,
but it just goes from a tiny rat to a big rat, and neither of them are particularly aesthetically pleasing. And the other problem is Rattata gives nothing for experience, no matter what. Like even if you're just going out and fighting it, it gives nothing for XP, no matter what level it is. It gives the worst levels of XP on top of that.
it's like fighting. It's like the equivalent of the boars in the Pokemon world. They give you next to nothing.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Rattata?
You know what? I'm pretty much agreeing with everything you said. I agree that, there could be so much better designs. And now that you said the Capybara one, I was gonna put him in mid, which was my middle one, but I think I gotta put him in shit.
your low one is just shit.
My lowest is the worst. It goes the worst, shit, mid, meh, and not shit ?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so mine is hate is justified. Meh. I could definitely get along. Elite Four material. And my highest possible tier is don't talk bad about my boy/girl.
I'm almost certain we're gonna disagree on some of these.
Oh, we are. There's gonna be a fight for a couple of these. All right. What's the next one
Next
over there?
up,
Sphero?
I believe this is Sphero, yes.
Okay, so Sphero is discount Pidgey, and Firo is discount Pidgeot, and both of them are terrible in every way, shape, and form. Their Movepool compared to Pidgeys are garbage. And for absolute spite purposes, they have the same typing. I could forgive it if in later games, Firo and Sphero became Dark type, but they don't. I hate them so much. Because, I am so glad I got a Pidgey in my first game, by the way. I love that bird.
Yes.
I hate... This is a bird where it's just nope.
Yeah, also, they are assholes. In the anime, they are assholes.
That too. In the anime, they're always dicks. Either they're working for the bad guy, or they're just being a dick to be a dick.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's your opinion?
I'm of the same opinion. The Pidgey and Pidgeot line is so much better, in my opinion. I love those birds, and these guys, they're just assholes. And I don't know, I also don't like the design of it. It looks...
I mean, yeah. That's the other part. The design doesn't really, it's not that... Spearo's design's okay. But... Yeah. It's okay, you're going for a Sphero. Cool. And then you get to the bigger one, and I'm like, did you have, a vulture and an eagle try to make a baby, and it stopped halfway through?
Because here's the thing, a bald eagle Pokemon sounds cool, and it's like they tried designing a bald eagle Pokemon, but then halfway through they're just like, we can't have a bald eagle. Okay, I guess it's a Sphero now, whatever.
So, over here on your list, you got a Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime. That Mr.
I
Mime
want to
fucking
hear it.
Mr. Mime has always, even as a child, fucking creeped me out. I have always been freaked out by Mr. Mime. And here's the thing, I'm not scared of clowns. Like, I don't have a clown phobia, but Mr. Mime is the exception.
I don't like him. I don't hate him, but I don't like him. He's always like, to me, it's always like, oh crap, it's a Mr. Mime. That's a problem. He's always a problem. He gets Fairy type in Gen 6, which threw me for a loop and nearly cost me 2 Pokemon. Because it's like, oh, Psychic, bring out a Dark type. Wait a minute! And the other thing with Mr. Mime that like, it really just... it's the whole Ash and Mr. Mime thing, and the fans accusing Ash's mom of sleeping with Mr. Mime, and I'm like, okay, I need an adult. So I guess the hate is justified in this case. Yeah, the hate on Mr. Mime's justified.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm putting them in the like the shit area because again, they just freak me out. Which is weird because like Mime Jr. I think is cute, and I actually prefer his other evolution in Sword and Shield, honestly.
Back over to my list. What's next?
Oh, we might have to fight on this one. Slacking?
Okay. So there's a variety of reasons. I don't like his entire line. Let's start there.
Wow, okay.
I don't like sloths in general. I was kind of okay with Flash from Zootopia, but I was really not okay with the sloth from Ice Age. And the only thing I see in Slacking is I just see a bigger version of Murray.
Murray.
And I'm just like, no. Just no. I don't want it anywhere near me. I don't want anything to do with it. And the ability just makes it terrible in every way for battle in every way, shape, and form. So I've got a battle reason and aesthetic reasons. All right, so you got to fight over this one.
I fucking love Slacking. He's a big lazy buff boy. I love him. Like that big fucking belly, and he just has the most casual I don't give 2 fucks kind of look. And it's awesome. God. And like also like just I don't know what it is. Also, I just love in the new Pokemon Snap game, you have to get him to turn over to get a picture of him, and it's just like that's Slacking. And also, it was one of my favorite Pokemon in Emerald actually. I busted my ass to get a Slacking, and I thought it was well worth it. So I gotta put him in not shit. I love Slacking.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But you know, I hate it. You love it. All right. Up next on my list for 2 to 1. What's up next on my list? Oh God.
We got Chance. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Chansey?
No, it's Clefairy. Yeah.
Oh, Clefairy. Clefairy is a demon baby in disguise. I'm sorry. The entire line just screams Demon Fairy, and I'm like, oh God, I need to call Doom Guy. Its move pool is weird and all over the place. It is just creepy. Go ahead.
I mean, like, just purely, I don't know if I can agree it's creepy, but I will agree I think there are way better Pokemon out there, so I put it in meh, honestly. I'm not even gonna fight you on that they're creepy. I never see that, but at the same time, I'm more just like, I can't vibe with them in battle.
It's your turn. Explain yourself, young man. What is this Dragonite on this list?
I hate Dragonites, honestly. Here's the thing. I love its previous evolutions. I love them because Dragon Boy. I love the Dragon Pokemon. Dragon Pokemon are some of my favorite out there. And those 2 evolutions, they are beautiful and amazing. And then you get the Dragonite and it's like, the fuck is this? Like it doesn't make any sense to me on a like aesthetic looks level, and its typing makes it even worse in battle. Like it's just
Okay.
nothing about it I vibe with, honestly.
So Dragonite for me. You're right about the aesthetic thing. It's like beautiful, majestic noodle, and before that it's like, oh, it's a cute, adorable baby noodle dragon. And then it turns into diabetes dragon.
Yes.
You're just like, what happened? Okay, what happened along the way? And it would be nice if you could keep it as Dragonair, but Dragonair's actual stat pool is so low, especially compared to Dragonite's pseudo legendary stat tier. It's like you can't justify keeping it that way if you're gonna like play with it at all competitively. But the thing here is Dragonite's move pool is amazing. Like, yeah, it's got a 4 times weakness to ice, fair. But the move pool is just holy cow. And then on top of that, we discovered in Gen 6, it has a broken move set where it can Dragon Dance and Dragon Tail. And with a wide lens, the Dragon Tail always hits, which means every single turn it just ejects your opponent's Pokemon and forces them to switch something else in, and they never get a move. Which is just like, wow, that's broken. So I gotta say Elite Four material here. It's not don't talk about my boy or girl because I don't like the fact he got diabetes. But Elite Four material, yes. Okay, what's next over there on your end of things?
Yeah. So you said explain Dragonite. I want you to explain Jigglypuff.
So for a start, I watched the anime, and every episode Jigglypuff appears in, I have to cover my ears because Jigglypuff's sing that they have in the anime is at such a high pitch level that because I'm tone sensitive, it just hurts. It's just pain. Second, Jigglypuff is just a round pink ball. And I've played games with round pink balls. I'm looking at you, Kirby. You don't trust the round pink ball, ever. You know what it's going to do to you. You don't trust it. You need to annihilate it right now. So Jigglypuff just sets off all of the nope danger warning alarms because of Kirby. And Smash Brothers.
I will admit, Smash Brothers, not a fan.
And Igglypuff is worse, and the evolved Wigglytuff is just like, no, you're just Jigglypuff made long. I like Screamtail. Screamtail's a nice design, is a nice play on the design, and I wish I could evolve or breed into it. But yeah, no, the whole line is just cursed.
See, for me, it's actually the anime that saves it from being in meh. I actually love Jigglypuff in the anime. I think Jigglypuff's hilarious in the anime. And here's the thing, I'm a bit sensitive to noise too, but for some reason, Jigglypuff never bothered me for some reason. I don't know why. I can't explain why, but yeah, Jigglypuff never bothered me. Like, her singing never bothered me. I believe this is Parasect?
Yeah.
The Mushroom Crab.
So I didn't hate Parasect until I played Arceus. I only didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of having a Pokemon where the real Pokemon is the mushroom and the bug underneath is a zombie. Hate the idea of zombie bugs. It's just creepy. But then I played Arceus. Every single Paras is super aggressive. And every single Parasect I see is an alpha. And I've seen 3 of them. And I'm like, in 3 different places. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just hate this Pokemon now. It's always an alpha. It's always angry, and they just make my life inconvenient. And the worst part for me, was we were playing Arceus, and we went to the second area, the Mirelurk lands, and we went over to where the Turtwig pond is, and there was a shiny Turtwig, and the Paras scared it off. I raged. Yeah, Parasect is on my exterminate list.
I will say, like, for me, I'm creeped out but also intrigued by its design, because I know the real story of, like, the fungus that, like, infects ants and, like, basically turns them into zombies. It is a creepy idea, but I don't know why they thought it'd be a cool design for Pokemon, much less why they chose a crab, or like an insect crab, to represent
Yeah.
it. Also, the fact it has no pupils also is really creepy. Like, it's just two white dots.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know it's dead on the inside. You know its brain's been eaten by the shroom.
Yeah. So on creep factor, honestly, I love like horror shit like that, so I gotta put it in mid, but mid only because I never use Parasec in battle or anything.
All right. We about to have a throwdown.
Oh, really?
Explain, Pichu.
One reason and one reason only. They are Garbo in Smash.
Uh, Not even a Pokemon game. They're just a guess, and you. No, I love Pichu. Like, we bred we bred a Pichu for Gen 5 with the light ball from our shiny from Gen 1. And I'm sorry, it was amazing. Volt Tackle might hurt like heck to use, but man, it hits like a bus. And we turned into a Raichu immediately, like no hesitation. It was like, all right, we have all of the moves from Pikachu. Yeah, Raichu, here's a Thunderstone. And it just carried us through the early and mid game. And even in late game, Volt Tackle was just a serious threat to use on random trainers. But yeah, no, Pichu itself, I mean, it was fun to have. So no, don't you talk bad about my girl. Don't you talk bad about my Pichu girl. All right.
So you didn't put Diglett, but you put Dugtrio on here.
Diglett had such a possibility for a better evolution, in my opinion. And then I've seen the Alolan version.
Oh,
They
Wiglet.
just gave it hair. They just gave it
that
hair.
one. Oh, yeah, the
They
hair.
just gave it hair, and I'm like, I want to scream. You had such potential. Like, you have a Pokemon where at least half of its body is always underground. Let it evolve and come out of the ground and get, like, some big evolution thing here. Nope.
It becomes a
It just
Troupple.
becomes 3.
It becomes a Troupple.
So, like, aesthetically, it's awful. In Gen 1, it was terrible to find them because they were just painful to fight. Because they would constantly use Dig, and the only counter was to just put the Murder Bird out. Hi, Jenny the Murder Bird. You're a nice Pidgeot. Just put the Murder Bird out and just let her avoid all the attacks. And then, for spite purposes, they're terrible Pokemon on their own stat line. And I'm just like, this is an awful creature.
So, here's the thing. I'm not even going to fault you because I can agree. But what's stopping me from putting it any lower than meh is I actually think the memes of what the fuck this thing looks like are hilarious. My favorite is when it's just 3 dudes cuddling under the dirt. They're just 3 JoJos, and that's their heads poking out.
You know, I can't fault you. I still hate it, but I can't fault you.
Watch, they're gonna release an evolution line where they finally are out, and it's just 3 JoJos.
Alright, what we got next?
Oh god, I'm blanking on the name. The Sprout from...
Weeping Bell?
Thank you, Weeping Bell.
Okay, I hate this Pokemon for one reason and one reason only.
Uh-huh.
The blowjob memes. I had to deal with them when we caught it in Gen 3 for hours, and eventually I was just like, no, I'm just putting it in box 2 and pretending like I don't have it anymore.
So this is a
God.
spite entry.
This is a spite entry. I hate the memes around it so much. I hate the memes around it so much, it discouraged me from ever using it.
This might sound weird, but I'm gonna put it below Dugtrio because I can agree with you. Unlike Dugtrio, where I think the memes are hilarious, the blowjob memes are so dumb.
Alright, so this next one from your list is also on my list. So do you mind just doing both of them at the same time?
Yeah, sure. Which one is it?
Unknown.
Unknown. One simple, cold, hard reason. Wasted potential. Like, Unknown's like...
Wasted potential Every single time you see Unknown, you know it's up to no good. In every form of the anime, in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, in any tabletop Pokemon game, Unknown shows up. You know it's up to something fucky.
Yeah, this thing literally summoned Entei, one of the strongest legendaries in the early games. But it amounts to fucking nothing in, like, the games or even the anime for that matter. And we still don't know anything about them.
And in the games, it's like just terrible, awful Pokemon, and they want you to catch 26 of them
The
to
entire
get
alphabet,
the whole
yeah.
alphabet, plus period, question mark, exclamation point, and parentheses.
Yeah.
So now, just get out.
Yeah, it's a shit Pokemon to use. It's a shit Pokemon lore-wise, and it could have been so interesting. Like, this idea that Unknown is like this behind-the-scenes thing. Like, even if they just made it that it's a minion to another Pokemon, that would have still made them at least somewhat interesting. But they're just there, and that makes them the worst, in my opinion.
My next two,
I believe this one's called Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly. Oh god. Okay. This is the second time they've made a parrot Pokemon. And it has such potential to be like something amazing. Because there are hundreds of varieties of parrots. I don't like Chatot either, but I don't hate Chatot so much because the chatter move is kind of interesting. The second time they made something that resembles a parrot, it doesn't evolve. It doesn't like change or adapt. It's a flying normal type. It's literally just why? Like, actually make a real parrot. Go do some research, Game Freak. Parrots are fantastic.
There's so much better, like, parrots you could do. I will say this. I will put him in Mav for one reason only. As dumb as it is, that Pompadour makes me laugh every fucking time I see it.
Fair. Alright,
Next
what
up.
you got next?
A flamingo. I think you made a mistake. This is not a Pokemon. This is a bird.
It's just like... Yeah, pretty much. It's like, this isn't a Pokemon. You just took a real-life bird, gave it no evolutions, didn't make it interesting at all, and I'm like... You do know there's more than one kind of flamingo, right?
You also made it a fighting type, which...
Yeah!
Points
It's
for
like-
creativity, but it's like, why?
Yeah, so and, everyone was expecting me to like all of the birds, and then there's just some birds where I'm just like, throw it off a cliff! After you break a wing. Alright, next on your list. I like this bird. I like the concept and everything. But you put Delibird.
Oh, Delibird. So, one reason and one reason only, its fucking gift move is bullshit. Like,
Oh, the fact that it can, cause massive damage or heal the target. Yeah.
yeah, I hate that move so much, and it's one of the first moves it learns, no matter which version you catch. And it's like, oh my god.
It's the
like,
only move it learns. That's the worst part. You have to TM other moves onto it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have to TM other moves, and it's like, Pokemon's already a game of chance, and I hate the chance mechanic in those games. So to have a move that's a chance mechanic, it's just like, all the no, go back to the North Pole with Santa. I don't want you.
I like the concept of Delibird. I like how it shows up in the anime. Its move pool is terrible, and I can never see actually using it in battle, except as a joke.
Just take on the Elite Four with a Delibird. That should be
It's
hilarious.
definitely a meh.
Yeah. Alright, so... I'm curious why you put Executor on here.
I put Execute.
Execute, yeah.
Okay, so Execute is, first off, it's just a bunch of eggs. It's not even a dozen eggs, so it doesn't even, like, fall into, like... But the worst part for me, is that one of them is broken open.
Oh,
That
yeah.
means that one of them is just a corpse. It is stinking up the place like a literal rotten egg. I just imagine every time I see an Execute, all I can think about is the smell of rotten eggs in my fridge. And I'm just like, nope, don't want.
I guess I can kind of agree with that. I think its final evolution is a lot better, honestly. So
Mm.
next up, Chansey. Really?
Chansey induces. So, if you've ever had something that was so cute and adorable you wanted to strangle it, Chansey induces that need in me for some reason. I just want to just start beating Chansey. I don't understand it or
What?
anything. I just look at Chansey and I just want to like punch it really hard.
You're just being so unnecessarily racist towards the cute Pokemon.
I don't like Chansey. I don't know why. I just don't. It's creepy.
For me, I don't use Chansey, but I can't give it any lower than a meh because I actually love Chansey in the anime with Nurse Joy. I think that Chansey is adorable. It's a big round ball. I want to hug it.
Okay. Well, we got another one we agree on.
Mm-hmm.
Whismer.
Whismer, yeah.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I mean, I'm not sure what I could even say about Whismer that everyone hasn't already said already. I hate its design. It looks so dumb. I hate how weak it is. The fact that it's a normal type, so there's nothing to it, really, honestly. And its Movepool, it's literally a baby Pokemon that doesn't have, like, anything else to it. And I already don't like baby Pokemon in general. That's another reason why I put Pichu in my list. But this Whismer, I think, is even worse than Pichu, because there's nothing to him.
Okay. Whismer.
Mhm.
Hate it. I hate its design. It looks like a demon baby, and it literally turns into a sound demon. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm good. No, get out.
Yeah.
No argument. All right, what we got next?
So next up, I'm blanking on the name of this one. The shellfish, like the, dinosaur.
Oyster or Amistar?
Amistar, that's it.
Oh God! All right, so in Gen 1, my choice is between Amistar or Kabutops.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, do I want a squid or do I want a cool crab boy that actually doesn't go full crab? I want him. And the other reason is Amistar really just looks like a bad design. Like its previous evolution, Ammonite versus it, it just looks like that it sat up and that's all it did was it just sat up. And I'm just like,
yeah.
so no, it's got a bad aesthetic, it's got a bad evolution aesthetic, and on top of that, if I have to choose between squid and literal horseshoe crabs are adorable. I'm taking the horseshoe crab.
Yeah, I love horseshoe crabs. So yeah, I can agree with you, because it's not a good design. Like, I think literally the most they did is had it stand up, and I think they changed its eyes, but that's about it. And plus, you said it all, like, horseshoe crab, way better.
I feel like everyone is about to fight me.
Yeah, so...
Because I put a legendary on here.
Not just a legendary, I think arguably the most beloved legendary ever. So, explain before the lynch cloud comes, why did you put Mewtwo on here?
Mewtwo's an asshole. He's a genocidal dick in the first movie in every way, shape, and form. I find it funny that he's apparently so weak that he had to block Ash's fist. Either Ash has guns or Mewtwo has no physical durability, or both. And for spite purposes, the way you access Mewtwo in the first game requires you to play the post game and go to an area you never knew to go to in the first place, which means Mewtwo is useless for the game itself, because by then you've already become champion. What's the point in going and find Mewtwo? So it's like his spot in the game makes him useless. He's just a dick, and on top of that, he's got genocide tendencies based on eugenics. I'm sorry, I see Mewtwo and I just go, oh, you mean the Nazi Pokemon? All right.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna disagree with you hard because I actually think Mewtwo would be in my top 10 or top 5 legendaries, because I love Mewtwo, and maybe this is nostalgia talking, but I actually love the first Pokemon movie that he's in. I prefer Mew, mind you, over Mewtwo, but for me, like, I just really like his design, and of course, the voice. Like, I can't get over the voice. It is so cool, and also, like, say what you will about all the tendencies in the anime he does, at the very least, he delivers, like, probably one of the most, like, poignant philosophical lines ever that I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but, like, it's not about what you're born into, but the circumstances of your birth, but what you do with the life you're given. Like, that's a poignant line, and I love it. And Return of Mewtwo is a great, like, sequel anime, honestly.
I haven't seen the sequel at all.
He's a lot better. He's not an asshole in
The
that one.
first one soured him so much. I'm just like, I don't want to see this. But you're right. Mew's adorable in that movie, just because Mewtwo is on this big rant about how his genetically superior clones, and Mew's just like, "Oh, what's this? My tail? Oh!" It's like Mew's just ignoring you, and it's great.
I do love that. And also, like, my big thing was, again, I grew up with, like, the early games. So for me, the reason why I forgive Mewtwo being in, like, the post game is because for me, Mewtwo was the challenge. Like, if you caught Mewtwo, you were the shit, because he was so hard to catch without killing. I mean, unless you save the Master Ball, but I mean, who does that when I mean, what? Anyway.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, everyone understand, my first real exposure to Pokemon was in April of 2022.
Mhm.
Okay, I that was the first time I played a game, and a month before that, I sat down with Watchful and I as mutual friends, and they picked a Pokemon movie for anime night, and I said, I've never seen anything Pokemon. I don't, and they said it's okay. So the first movie I watched was the Latios movie.
Ah.
The month before, I played my very first game, almost 15 years after it came out. All right, so gonna ask Plusle.
Yeah, Plusle and Minus, pretty much, I have the exact same, like, problem with both of them. It's that it's a cool idea that amounts to nothing. Like, they're two Pokemon that are plus and minus, like, that could be cool, but, like, I could be misremembering, but they weren't even introduced in the generation that had, like, team battles. And
Yeah, they weren't they were introduced in Gen 3, which was the generation where they had doubles. But I think the first time you saw them in Emerald was a couple fighting you, and they had level 30 versions. And you immediately understood that, like, one without the other was basically useless, so they were only useful for double battles.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, why do I need to get both of them when I could have just none? Not to mention, there's so many better electric type Pokemon out there, in my opinion. Like, why do I need two of these tiny babies to equal the strength of, like, one Raichu, essentially, or something?
Yeah, like I'm not going to use them for the Elite Four. I like their design, especially the way their tails are. But I'm just never going to use them for anything. They're always just kind of meh. And the only time that I actually take real notice of them is when I'm in a double fight and I'm facing both of them at the same time. Then I'm like, oh crap! But yeah, they're kind of meh. They're just meh.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
What we got next on my list? Oh no.
Chikorita, really?
I hate the entire line,
Wow.
but I hate Chikorita the most. So I hate the Megaflora, because in the anime, Megaflora is just a dick to be a dick. And the other thing in the anime, like Chikorita and the middle evolution, I'm sorry, no, it's like an untrained puppy all the time. I literally felt exhausted for Ash watching how his Chikorita acted around him. I was so glad when we started season 6, and he's like, "I'm gonna leave all my Pokemon behind." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God, Chikorita's out." But yeah, it just, mm-mm. And then like in the game, if I've got to pick between Chikorita and Cyndaquil, I'm taking Cyndaquil. Don't get me started about Florida Man the Pokemon. We're not talking about him. I'm just taking Cyndaquil.
I can agree with that. I love Cyndaquil.
This is my hedgehog, baby, and you will say nothing bad about it.
Yes.
All
So
right.
so I don't hate Chikorita, but at the same time, I think it is the Pokemon I think of the least in that gen as far as the starters, because I think it's mostly because I have such a bias towards Cyndaquil, since Cyndaquil is, I think I want to say, my favorite starter of all time, if not top 3. But Chikorita's just kind of there, in my opinion. So I can agree with you mostly.
Yeah. All right. What we got next?
Next up, Apom.
There's almost no monkey Pokemon I like. Almost none. Primate, you're the exception, not the rule. But yeah, Apom, just from a design standpoint, it's just weird. It gets 2 extra arms. It's just like, why? And then on top of that, it's just, I don't like the design. I don't like the move pool. I don't like the evolution. No, it's just bad.
So for Apoms, I can mostly agree with you that I think what saves it for me from being any lower than mid is I think they are adorable in new Pokemon Snap. Like legitimately, they are very cute in there, just running around and stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna...
Mm-hmm.
Drapion. Why?
Drapion. Yeah, now I remember, because I fucking hate this design so goddamn much. Like, I'm sorry, I hate it. It looks so dumb. I do not like its design, like, at all.
So quick side note for everyone: if you're allergic to bees, you're allergic to scorpions.
Yeah.
I'm probably allergic to Drapion. Just letting you know. I don't like his design, but it reminds me a lot of Rad Scorpions from Fallout New Vegas, with how blocky he is. Like unmodded Fallout New Vegas, Rad Scorpions are blocky, and because it reminds me of such a nice game, I don't hate him. It's just kind of meh.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good point. I'll bump it up to mid, but I still don't like him.
Oh, you can hate him. It's fine. All right, what's the next one?
Sunflora. The sunflower.
I grew up in Alabama. Sunflower seeds were something everybody was expected to consume. I hate sunflower seeds. I absolutely hate them. They are awful. They are terrible to try to break open and get the thing out from inside, the core. And the seed shells get every freaking where, and they taste terrible. And so I look at Sunflora, and all I can think about is baseball park sunflower seed.
So, I don't hate sunflowers, so I don't have the vehement hatred you do. That being said, I don't ever see myself using a sunflower. But that being said, their side mission in the latest Pokemon game, I think is very cute. So that saves them from being in mid, but I'm still barely gonna use them.
Hit me. I'm waiting for it.
The moon. We're gonna steal the moon. Lunastone.
Lunatone?
Yep.
Gym 7. Pokemon Emerald. The Lunatone was from Satan. And Kate and Liza had 7 hyper potions. The only reason I did not lose the entire Genlock challenge in that fight was the fight came down to a Mightyena and their Lunatone, and their Lunatone has no attacks that can hurt the Mightyena. And I had to sit there and just slowly whittle away with Bite. And Emerald classifies all dark moves. as special, which means that I'm whittling away with Bite, and it has max Calm Mind. And I have no way to debuff it. It was the most painful, awful thing. I hate them so much now. I catch them in Pokemon Go just to show them in the candy grinder on purpose. And if I see one in the wild, it's just murder it on sight.
Jesus Christ. That is some legit rage, and I can't even fault you because I do not think of this Pokemon at all. It's literally just a moon. I don't think about using it in battle, so yeah, you know, I'd probably put it in shit. Thankfully, I did not fight that gym, so I don't have that horrible PTSD memory, but still.
If you ever play Emerald, you see the Lunatone come out, just make sure you have something out in the field and immediately OHKO it. No question. just knock it. Super focus fire. Knock it out immediately. No hesitation. Alright, I got one here. And we're going to have a fight.
Uh-huh.
Yon Mega.
Yon Mega.
Explain this.
Yeah. So, yeah, Yon Mega. Okay, this is in the category of I don't know. I don't know what it is about. I think I know what it is. This is gonna sound weird. I prefer Yenma over Yon Mega. We don't need two Dragonfly Pokemon, and I prefer Yon Mega's design over Yon Mega's.
Okay, Yanma's adorable.
Uh-huh.
And it turns into Yon Mega, who's a badass. But see, to me, I can't hate dragonflies. I lived in the South growing up, and dragonflies eat mosquitoes. So if you were ever outside and there were dragonflies around you, you knew immediately the mosquitoes weren't going to be there. And they're not any danger, so it's just like, nah. This is my boy. You don't talk bad about the boy. He's going in that category where he belongs.
I can't fault you. I don't know what it is. I can't explain why I don't like its design. I just don't.
Okay, what's next?
Well, so Smoochum.
I don't like Jinx's design. It's overtly racist, and I have a problem with that. Smoochum is somehow worse. And on top of that, the one episode of the anime where Smoochum showed up, I just wanted to stab it. The whole episode. I just wanted to stab it. Short, sweet explanation.
I can probably put it in shit too. Mostly because, like, for me, I'm not a fan of the baby Pokemon, like, in general. Like, all those pre-evolutions they added. I don't like them. I think it was just a dumb idea. And, like, it doesn't help that I don't use Mr. Mime super often anyway. I mean, not Mr. Mime. Oh, God. Can't think of the name. But, yeah, it's just I don't think about them often, and I'm not a fan of baby Pokemon, and I think I hate this one more than Pichu. At least Pichu's cute. This one just looks weird.
Alright.
So I have a feeling there's history behind this one, and I think I know what it is. So, Milk Tank.
Whitney.
Yeah, of course.
But then one word explanation. Whitney. Second explanation. I lost a Pokemon in Pokemon X. Like I think it's one of the last ones we lost before we got to Victory Road today. To a Miltank that used Bide and got paralyzed twice, so I thought it was safe to attack. And instead it just wrecked me. Yeah, no, Whitney and that. No. It has Bide and it can heal itself, and Whitney.
So, this is gonna sound weird. I thought Whitney's Milk Tank was easy as fuck, honestly. I killed it in one hit when I first played it, and I was just like, okay. But that being said, I'm like, it's literally just an anthropomorphic cow. So, I'm not the biggest fan of its... Okay, they tried to do like an anthro cow, but it looks like they gave up halfway. And also, like, I just don't think it... Like, I don't see myself using it in combat much. So, yeah, you know, I'll put it in shit. In solidarity for all the Whitney people that were bullied by Whitney, I'll put it in shit.
What's next?
Mandibuzz. the Vulture.
Mandibuzz. Oh, okay. I don't like Mandibuzz's pre-evolution. It's like it's wearing an egg. Like, look, I don't like Togepi. I love Togekiss. I don't like Togepi. And so the whole egg aesthetic, but it's like supposed to be a skull or an egg. You make up your mind. I don't like it. And then we get to Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is everything about a vulture I don't like. Everything combined into one creature.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the desert of Arizona. I've seen vultures. They're not nice to look at all. And on top of that, Mandibuzz appears in a game, I believe, where there is just a much better bird. Yeah, Mandibuzz appears in Gen 5.
Yeah.
And if I've got to pick between Mandibuzz and Unpheasant, I'm picking Unpheasant because Unpheasant looks like a bird luchador.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. So for me, I actually kind of like vultures, honestly. Like, I like how they look and how they are kind of cool. That being said, I would not go anywhere near a vulture because they eat fucking carrion, and I know they probably stink to high fucking heaven. And also, like, this thing just looks evil. Like, it just looks like it's giving me the side eye constantly. And it just looks like it's gonna kick my ass the second I look away.
All right, I'm going to move Mandibuzz down one more tier for spite purposes. There's also Ducklet and Swanna in Gen 5, and honestly, yeah, Mandibuzz is worst bird I've ever had, I've ever seen in a Pokemon game so far. Absolute worst bird.
Wow. Okay. Well then, alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of Porygons. But you picked Porygon Z. Go on.
Okay, so for me, I've never been a big fan of Porygon either, because I like the idea of Porygon at least, like this computer virus Pokemon. That's kind of what it is, but Porygon, for me, like, I was always put off by Porygon because of that. I heard about that one episode that caused seizures because of that one scene in the anime, and that always put me off from him. But I've since eased up on Porygon. Porygon does not need 2 goddamn evolutions, and Z, I think, is the worst looking one in my opinion. And I can't explain why I hate Porygon Z's design so much. I think it's too shiny and futuristic looking. It looks like it should, like, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so
like
Porygon Z, it's really bulky, and there's a couple trainers that show up with it, and that just makes it, like, in Platinum, and I'm just like, ugh. But at the same time, like, I get the design evolution from, like, the super blocky Porygon to Porygon 2 to Porygon Z. I kind of get it. I can't be mad at the design, but I can't put it on my team, so it's just kind of meh. It exists.
Yeah, it exists.
All right. What are we hitting me with now?
I am blanking on this one's name. The pink flower bug.
Pink flower bug. Pink flower bug. Laurentis?
Laurentis, that's it.
Okay, so the only real exposure I've had to Laurentis is in Pokemon Go, so I'm going to preface it with that. But its pre-evolution looks like it should be something awesome. Like, it really does look like it should turn into something amazingly cool. Fromantis just, it screams baby Scyther. And then I get its evolved form, and I was so disgusted. I immediately just like, yeah, get out of my bag. It looks awful. Its evolved form is pure grass type, and it's based on a mantis. Why is it not bug grass? Oh right, because we have Levany. Oh wait, Levanie's not on the Switch at all. Not salty. Not salty.
Yeah, totally not.
It's
salty.
just, but yeah, no. It looks like it should be a really cool special attack variant of Scyther, and then it turns into a physical attacking grass only, and I'm just like, you. And your design and its design is terrible. Like the pink is just no.
Yeah. So I can somewhat agree with you on most of those fronts because, yeah, I think its pre-evolution is way cooler than its final evolution. Like, it sure turned into something better. And also, like, here's the thing. I'm not against overly pink Pokemon. One of my favorite evolutions is Sylveon. But for me, like, it is such a thing as too much pink. Too much pink energy is dangerous. I don't like it. I think it's gonna do things to me if it gets too close with its pink energy. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'd probably put it... I don't know if I could put it... I don't have any strong hate towards it, so I'm probably not gonna put it any lower than mid. So, the next one. Why you hating on the chonky Squirrel Boy?
For everything you just said. Look. Squirrels are pests, yes, but squirrels are also cute, adorable, and they genuinely are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
But I gotta hate on the chunky Squirrel Boy. I've never seen a fat squirrel in my life. Never. And I'm just like, why you got... They don't exist. Like, why didn't you make him Fly Squirrel Boy? Why didn't you make him, like, good and Mulga? No, you made him fat and lazy squirrel. No, screw this, I'm out.
No.
He's an insult to squirrels.
See, I like that he's a chunky Squirrel Boy. He looks so happy. He just looks too happy. I can't hate him. I'm probably not going to use him, which is why he's going in meh, but I can't hate that design. He's just too cute. I want to pet his belly.
Okay. Last dangerous question was, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, I have 20 left and you have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. All right, so we need to get some of yours out of the way.
Oh.
All right. Why are you hating on waifu? Why are you hating on Trubbish? What did Trubbish do to you?
It's garbage. Do I need to say anything else?
It's just it's just garbage.
It's trash. It's literally
I'm
trash.
sorry, but I must defend my friend Lori's spirit. Trubbish is an amazing boy. Trubbish carried me through 2 gyms in Gen 5, only to die by an accidental self-destruct. Trubbish is good boy. Do not talk about my good boy. I get he's garbage, but he's my garbage. Alright.
Fine, I'll put him... I'll be nice. I'll put him in mid.
No, you can be mad at him. You can be mad at him. Alright, just to make sure, on my end, I only have your Pokemon. You only have mine on yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna do the clashing.
Mm-hmm.
You sent Gothitella, and I sent Gothitelle.
Yeah!
Alright, so I don't like Gothitelle because Gothitella is like cute baby goth. Okay, sure. The mid-tier evolution's like, okay, you went full goth and it's cool. It's fine. Gothitelle is what happens when there's too much Hot Topic. Alright, I want to hear Gothitella. What's wrong with Gothitella?
So, again, it goes back to the fact that I hate most, if not all, the baby evolutions. Like, we don't fucking need them, and there's probably a reason why I don't see this version too often. Like, I love the rest of them. Like, even the final one that you chat all over. I love her. Like, I just love her, but I cannot vibe with the baby goth. It's cute, but I never, ever see myself using it. Or I would rather just catch its middle evolution than raise the baby. I don't want to... My little goth. No, I don't want to raise my little goth.
Right, and why do you like Gothitelle? Or what's with Gothitelle with you? You get to retaliate now.
Gothitelle, like, Gothitelle is literally just my girlfriend in a Pokemon form. So I can't hate it. I have to love it. And also, I just love Gothitelle's design, like the long dress. And also, I totally completely biased here. Mega Gothitelle, I like even more. And it's just, I can't hate Gothitelle, like, period. I just love it.
Okay. So let's see. All right. I'm gonna ask,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be upset.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with Klefki?
It's keys. Like, why are you keys? Why are you this? And
Okay, so so far, Gen 6 is my favorite generation, period, end of story. Kalos is fun. I like being in France. Hate me. Um, Second, Klefki is, like, it's weird, but I play with keys all the time. It's like, it's something besides, like, a fidget cube. My next choice is keys. So, not only can I not hate Klefki feels like, yeah, Klefki's Elite Four material to me.
really, wow.
And I stand by that. All right,
Yeah.
what do we got for? What do we got on my end?
So this is another one we're gonna fight because you disrespecting my dragon brother. Why the hell is Appleton on here?
Oh my god! He's just an apple with a lizard in him.
He's an apple dragon. That's cool.
Put him in a pot. Bacon. I can't take him seriously.
I don't care. You can't take him seriously. He's a chunky apple dragon boy. I love him.
Okay.
He's so chunky, and I love him. He just looks so done with the world with the little apple on his head. He's just like, I don't want to be here, but I guess I'll fight. I just imagine him sounding like Eeyore, and I love him.
All right, let's keep going.
So, I love the other two evolutions, but I'm curious why you specifically put Lotad on here.
I don't like Lotad's entire line.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't like the fact that Lotad stands up. I don't like the fact I don't like the sombrero water thing at all. I live in Arizona, like I said earlier, and no, it just feels wrong. And on top of that, Ludicolo is a monster because of its typing. No other reason. Just its typing makes it an absolute monster to deal with. So, yeah, those are my reasons.
You say it's a monster to deal with, but it's also a monster when you have it on your team. But, I mean, like, if we're counting just the Pokemon, I can agree and put it in mid, because this thing is a bitch to get to that final evolution. It takes for fucking ever whenever I get one. And in my opinion, it's worth it. But this tiny little frog with a lily pad sombrero, I'm just like, I just poke it like, come on, evolve faster.
All right. So what's the next one on my list, and then we'll do one on yours, so we keep them about even.
Okay. So this is I'm really curious. Why'd you put Whismer on here?
Oh, we already did Whismer.
Oh, wait, hang on, not Whismer. God. Tiny little pink ball with the star eyes. Yeah.
Pink. That's Whismer.
Did we not?
We did Whismer
Oh, wait.
on both ends.
Oh, wait. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The drink is getting to you. It's funny.
Okay, I got it now. So I think I know why you put this one here, Sharpedo.
I have a deep-seated amount of Galeophobia. It took an entire game for me to agree that I would hug the Garchomp in my party, and only that Garchomp. Another Garchomp is getting the axe. Sharpedo is just everything that I fear about sharks in a Pokemon. It's got the great white design. It's super aggressive. Its primary thing is it's gonna bite you and rip you apart, and it's an eating machine. It's everything I fear about sharks in one Pokemon.
So, I am not afraid of the ocean, and I actually love sharks. So, I am putting Sharpedo in not shit because I actually love Sharpedo's design. I love the idea of making a torpedo shark. And, like, I don't use Sharpedo often, mind you, but it's one of those Pokemons where I'm going to keep you in my box, and I'm just going to admire you from afar, and probably pet your
All right.
snoot.
So for you,
Mhm.
Vanillux.
Vanillus. It's like Vanillus is the easy one to hate on, and I hate it for the same reason everyone else hates on it. It's just fucking ice cream in living
know what?
form.
I'm gonna defend this.
Oh,
Vanillux is vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is best ice cream. There is nothing wrong with vanilla ice cream. There is no argument about strawberry or chocolate. It's just everyone's just like vanilla's okay. So you know what? I will definitely get along with Vanillux. 100%. It's going and I get along with it.
For me, I gotta put it in mid because I like vanilla ice cream too, but I don't know if I want it in my Pokemon team. And also, like, the final one Vanillux that really gets me is that its final evolution. Oh, it's a double cone now. It's like, really?
Alright. What's next?
So I am wondering if this is based on its Pokedex Spoink.
Okay. So there's a bunch of things I have a problem with Spoink over.
Mm-hmm.
One, if it stops moving, its heart stops and it dies. So to me, there's an absolute ton of kids out there in the Pokemon world whose Spoink got fainted and it just died. Second, I can't like hold or hug it or anything because it's got to keep bouncing. And third, its evolution is god awful looking. I mean, it goes from this cute, adorable spring piglet to everything that's bad about pigs in one Pokemon instantly. And I'm like, nah, I can't love you.
Aw. So, I like the entry kind of does ruin it for me, and I like its other evolutions, like badass fighting pigs. That's cool, but it disturbs me that this thing can never stop bouncing, and it also raises the question: the fuck happens when they go in a Pokeball?
That's a good question. What happens when I put it in a Pokeball? Or what happens when I fight it enough to get it to stay in the Pokeball? Did I just kill it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how does it not die because it has to stop bouncing? Or is it like a giant Mobius room or something?
Alright. What's next? I'm bracing myself. I see some of these on the list we haven't gone over, and I'm bracing myself.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed Cloyster.
Okay. This is not safe for Chris. This is not safe for Chris' take. It's just a vagina with a shell.
It's like the easiest joke to make about it, though.
I'm sorry. I can't. It's just I can't put it on my team. I don't like seeing it on the screen. All I see is just great. It's a vagina with armor. Not what I need in my Pokemon game. Thanks.
Okay, so I can kind of agree with you on Cloyster as far as that, because, like, yeah, I guess it does just kind of look like a vagina, but I don't know. I don't hate its typing, and that thing can be a beast defense-wise, but yeah.
You can't. It's strictly the design, though. It's just no. I'm good. I don't want to throw a Pokeball and have to yell, "Go vagina!"
Just name it Vagine.
I don't want to name it anything. Alright. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's see. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 left on my list. 7 on yours. All right. Clink. I want to hear it. What's wrong with Clink?
Clank. Like, Same problem as Vanillix. It's literally just gears. And I don't know, maybe I should have put its other evolution on there, but I don't know, at least then it's looking like cluttered gears. Like, there's kind of a thing to it. And it's weird, because I don't hate, like, Magnemite or, like, Voltorb and all those lines, and yet this one, I think it's just a matter of, after so many Pokemon not being based off things, we suddenly got so many that are based off things. I just hate all the ones that are based off things from this gen on principle. And I guess that's what it is.
I have to say something before I put Clink where he's gonna go. I was explained that according to everyone in Nuzlocke, since I've been playing a Nuzlocke and we caught a Voltorb, Voltorbs are just consumable grenade items. Even Pokemon, and I'm like, no, you leave non-Bombinary alone. But Clink, I don't feel anything. It's just men. I don't feel anything. I see a Clink and I think, okay, fire Pokemon. That's the only thing I think is just get a fire Pokemon. Let's just get rid of I don't have any problem with it. I just don't have any strong feeling towards it either. Okay, what's next from my list?
So the other half of the Sun and Moon persona, Solrock.
Tate and Eliza. That's the entire description you're getting. Tate and Eliza.
Yeah, fair enough. So, pretty much same description as the Moon. Like, not a fan.
Everything I hate about Lotus Moon, hate about Solrock. Same reasons.
Yeah, same reasons as well. Moving on. So why not?
Okay, I don't like Wobbuffet at all. In the anime, he's super annoying. In the games, it has all the worst moves that you could put on a Pokemon to just make it a brick wall of just, I hate this Pokemon. It has Destiny Bond. You can teach it Perish Song too, which is just obnoxious. And then on top of that, it has the Mirror Coat and the other thing, and I'm just like, so this is just like, you run into it in the wild, and it's just like, we're great, somebody's about to die. And so why not, I just look at it as, oh great, you're baby Wobbuffet, let me step on you.
And knowing him, it'll probably bounce right back the second you do.
Okay.
So, for me, again, this goes back to, I don't like the baby evolutions. Like, so many baby evolutions, they just immediately go into shit or mid tier because, like, I don't like them. I do not like the fact that, like, pre-baby evolutions are a thing and were introduced and put so many, like, other Pokemon. And some of them are cute, but I on principle, do not like Wobbuffet because they are a pain in the ass to catch and fight. And you just make it a baby, and it's just like, oh, good, now you're easier to punt.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the dangerous question. The reptile and the swamp driller, are you saving those for last?
Maybe.
Okay. So Stunfisk.
Stunk.
What do you not like about the flounder?
Well, I think it's just, I don't know, for me, I just think it looks so dumb. It's like, its derpy eyes are funny and cute the first time I see it, and then I just look at it and I'm just like, what do you even do? Why are you this?
Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I will definitely get along with him because I have abused him in Pokemon Go because he's just an overpowered typing. However, his design is terrible, and I would never actually put him onto a Elite Four team for a mainline Pokemon game. It's just not going to happen. So there, I get along, but he's not going any further.
I don't hate him. Next? So yeah. So Cricketator Tot.
So Cricketator, the problem I have that just drives me nuts. In Platinum, its unevolved form has Bide. But for some reason, the wild version keeps Bide when it evolves, and it has an insane hit point pool. And you don't see it coming until you've already use an attack. And now you have to either fully commit or die. I hate its design. I hate that it's a musical bug, and I hate that it keeps bide.
All right. Well, I don't hate Cricketon, but at the same time, I don't see myself ever in a million years using Cricketot. And it sounds like an absolute bitch to handle. So, yeah, I'd probably put it in mid.
Okay, what's next?
Next up, Badoo.
Okay, I have a Roserade now. I like Roserade. I don't like Badoo. Badoo does not look like it should evolve into Roselia and Roserade at all. It just doesn't look like it should. And on top of that, it's literally just a plant bud. And I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I love Rosary and Rosarita, and I love those ones, but Badoo, like, I think the easiest fix in the world would be if it was like actually like a flower already or something. I don't know, just something to make it connect the dots more. But it just looks like a sprout. It looks like there should be at least one more evolution in this line before it gets to Rosary.
Yeah, looks like you should have a 4-line evolution. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, if that was the case, I'd probably not be as harsh, but I gotta put it in like lowest shit tier.
Okay, so one, we're gonna have a fight.
Uh
But you put Bunnelby and I put Diggersby. So what's up with Bunnelby?
Bunnelby. Uh, so Bunnelby. So yeah, for Bunnelby, like I don't know, like for me, I just think it's just a bunny, and I honestly I like that it becomes like this super like big bunny in the end, but the fact that it just starts out as like a normal ass bunny at first, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't fit its final evolution to me. It's the same problem I have with Badoo. I wish it was like a chonky bunny or something, like bigger.
See, and I have the opposite problem. I think Bunnelby's nice, especially with like the way it uses its ears to attack. That makes it cute. And it's a very nice Pokemon to get early on. I would definitely get along with it, 100%. Now, on the flip side, Diggersby can go suck on a railroad spike. Because it evolves, and its move pool is awful. Its design just makes me vomit. Because it gets these big fist ears, and I'm like, ew! And then it gets fat, and I'm like, oh, come on! So I'm staring at it, and I'm like, I don't know what rabbit you're based off of, but me being a super big fan of rabbits, I hate you. And that's being a lot coming from me, because there was a long period of time where I was seriously getting ready to go get a rabbit as a pet.
Aw.
All right, so what do you Diggersby? Hold on, what's going on?
I can't hate Diggersby. It's a chonky bunny, like a chonky bunny with beefy ear fucking arms. It just, I don't know. I guess I just relate to like chonky boy Pokemon, boy and girl Pokemon. I just relate to them a lot. I don't know why.
I've noticed that's a theme.
I don't know. Like maybe I just find bigger Pokemon. Maybe I just relate to them because I'm also a big boy. But I don't know. I like it, and I like the idea of the like ears getting buffer. Like I like the symmetry of like the ears get buffer, but because he's not using the rest of his body, he gets fat. I actually love the symmetry of that, honestly. I can't hate that. I don't barely use them, hence why it's not going in not shit, but oh well.
All right, what's next?
So, Rotom.
Oh, all right. I don't like the Adeptus Mechanicus from 40k. There, I said it. Remlace, please don't hate me. I love you, Remlace. You're fun. I hate the Adeptus Mechanicus though. Their entire the way they act, everything about them, it's not okay with me in any way, shape, or form. And then on top of that, Rotom just makes me think it's a machine spirit. And I don't like that. I hate it. It's just like, I don't need my washing machine or my telephone to be alive.
Funny you say that because it does turn into a washing machine.
All right.
So I don't hate Rotom honestly, but that being said, Pokédexing this thing is a bitch considering you have to get it in every form. So yeah, probably put it in mid. So next up, I'm gonna butcher this. Musarana,
Yeah.
the sleeping.
Look, I'm just gonna say it. It's a fetus.
It's a fetus. Oh, I didn't even realize that. It kind of does look like a fetus.
I'm not okay with it. Like playing through with it in black and leveling it up and everything, it was terrible. It was an awful Pokemon. It has terrible moves, awful stats. It's just a bad Pokemon. And then on top of that, when I evolved it, the only thing I could not unsee it. I'm just like, great, it's a fetus. That's all it is. It's just a fetus.
I can't unsee it now either, and now I hate it. I don't know. I can't put it any lower than mid because no, I gotta put it in shit. I was about to say I like its design, but you ruined that. So I can't put it any higher than shit now. Thanks, okay. I hate it.
I actually don't know anything about this Pokemon over here.
Which one?
Hoopa.
Oh, Hoop. So, Hoopa, I hate for one simple and only reason. It is the most bullshit legendary ever. Hoopa was an event legendary in X and Y. You could only get it for a very specific event for a very specific time. And then you got Hoopa, but Hoopa is not a Pokemon you can get like anywhere else. And as far as I know, you can't import it to any of the other games either. So it's stuck in X and Y. The one thing I will give Hoopa, it's typing. It's a psychic ghost type, which is interesting. But it's so useless outside of its game.
So I don't know anything about Hoopa at all. But since you said it's an event-only Pokemon, and I recently, for someone else, which is going to be an entirely separate video, had to go acquire a Victini. And not like a Victini, like a legit Victini. I had to go acquire one and get it into Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Event legendaries, I just hate them. Go away.
Yeah, like Victini I can at least forgive because Victini is at least cool in the anime and adorable in the anime, and Victini at least has amazing stats. Hoopa doesn't even have that good of stats. And again, Hoopa has not been brought to any other Pokemon, and if you, like, it's worse because it's an event Pokemon. That's the definition of an event. If you did not get it when the X and Y thing started, that's it. You can't get it ever again. So, yeah.
So, we got next from my list, because now we're going to get into ones that people are really going to get mad at me for, and we've definitely saved some of the best for last.
Yeah, because
they can see what's on my screen.
Oh, yeah, and this one, you gotta explain hard. Why is the Fire Kitty on here? Why is Torracat on here?
So Fire Kitty, I'm gonna say it right now. When I look at Incineroar, the only thing I see is a cat version of Pignite. Pignite and Incineroar are both inferior to Blaziken, straight up, in every way, shape, and form. And all I see is another fire fighting, and I'm just like, no. Now, what makes it worse is Incineroar acts like a show wrestler from WWE or whatever, but is fire dark, and I'm just like, I can't like you at all for all the reasons. Lastly, the reason I hate its middle evolution so much is it has that really bad middle evolution that's clearly the awkward teenage phase. And so like it goes from I hate Incineroar to I really hate this. All right.
Well, honestly, I gotta put this in not shit because I love the Incineroar line. The entire line. I love my little fire kitty. He's adorable. And Incineroar, I mean, maybe I'm biased because I do like WWE in some capacity. I like wrestlers and I love their aesthetic. And Incineroar just reminds me of like a wrestler, like a heel wrestler, because that's what he's designed after. I can't hate Incineroar or any of its line for that matter. So yeah.
Okay. So we got one here that we might have a fight over.
Oh boy.
More Pecco.
More Pecco.
Dual type electric dark.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, with more Pecco, like I'll give it credit. Its gimmick is interesting. Like its switching mechanic, that's interesting. I hate it because this is literally the point where I just got so sick of the Pikachu ripoffs. Because I just see a
Okay.
Pikachu ripoff, and I hate the Pikachu rip. Like, I could stomach most, if not all of them, but this was the final one where I'm just like, okay, Game Freak, no more Pikachu ripoffs. This is the end. You have to stop.
Okay. So for more Pecco for me. It's okay. Like the cool the ability mechanic where it switches the typing of one move of its signature move. I can get behind it. But like Pikachu clone wise, I mean it's not as bad as Dedenne. It's not as bad as Dedenne. But you ain't gonna top Emolga. So he's just kind of meh for me. All right. I'm bracing myself for the comment section. Here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna get all of these next ones out of the way because they are in a line. I've noticed at least half of the Iron line is on here, so let's start with Iron Treads.
Okay, first off, all of the Iron line, the names are stupid to me. They're all called Iron. Screw off. Come up with something more creative, Game Freak. Second off, you have Iron Treads. Okay, you have Iron Treads, but then you have what I consider the absolute best version, Great Tusk.
Yes, I love Great Tusk.
I'm gonna take Great Tusk every day of the week. Like Great Tusk wins. Iron Treads just feels like a cheap knockoff that forgot he has tusks. Like they're there, but because of the coloration, they become nearly unnoticeable. All
Yeah.
right.
So,
So yeah, no. Iron Treads could get out. I am Fiora the Tank Girl saying I don't like Iron Treads.
so tell us how you feel about Iron Hands then.
I cannot justify Hirayama being a future Paradox Pokemon. I'm sorry. Hirayama is based on sumo wrestlers. And sumo wrestling is, at this point, a millennia old art. Nah. Hirayama should be a past Paradox.
Absolutely.
And what makes it worse, what makes it the worst part, is Hirayama's primary move for a lot of people is arm thrust. Because it can hit up to 5 times. It's a fighting move that has a decent amount of power, and it's stab. Iron Hands doesn't have arms, the hands just float. Iron Hirayama's move that almost everyone has on it, that I have seen, Iron Hands shouldn't even be able to use because it doesn't have arms.
Yeah. Agreed. It's so dumb. It should not be a future form, honest to God. Like, honestly, most of the Iron Pokemon I dislike a lot more than their
I
like
almost put Miraidon on this list.
for me, I almost put yeah, the Glade feature one.
Oh, the Iron Valiant.
Iron Valiant. I
I
almost
think
put
you
that
would
on
have
it.
got strangled for that.
I'm sorry. I love Glade, but I don't know. I think it really didn't need to be a thing. But in the end, I was just like, you know what? It's fine. I can't hate it.
Okay. So back to you.
Uh-huh.
I think this is the one you're gonna get hate over.
Mm-hmm.
Tatsugiri. What's wrong with the sushi boy?
Its fucking mission can die in a goddamn hole. I hated the dragon mission in that game because, well, for one thing, I was all for this giant ass catfish to be like the big fight. It's just like, oh my god, a catfish dragon? That's awesome. And then it sets it up to be like, you gotta fight it twice, you get through all that, but then it's like nothing, and it's like, wait, well, where is the spice? Then you get out, and it turns out it's this tiny little sushi fish that you have to fight, and it's like, oh, okay, so this one has to be better than ever. It was a goddamn pushover. It was the easiest one after that goddamn catfish kicked my ass so many times. And I'm just like, out of spite, I fucking hate this. And also, I hate its typing. That is not a dragon! Like, period! It can't, I don't care if its nickname is the suit, like the fake dragon. No, that is not a dragon. Fuck off.
All right, so I'm gonna comment here. I haven't got to Gen 9 yet. I've still got 3 to go. Finishing Gen 6 Friday this week. So I'll be on Gen 7 by the time this comes out.
Yes.
And that'll be my first experience with Gen 7, so there it is. But here's what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely get along with Tatsugiri. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a show called Excel Saga. And in Excel Saga, there's a dog called Menchi. Menchi in Japanese is a delicacy made from dog. The reason he's called Menchi is because he's the Excel group's emergency rations. And so many unfortunate things happen to him, but he lives. So I look at Tatsugiri and I go, you're my emergency rations, but you're going to be the best character in my entire show. So we would definitely get along. Probably.
That's fair. Like, I know I'm probably gonna get hate for Tatsugiri, and I don't care. I'm dying on
I'm
this
going to get hate for a lot of this, but go ahead. Go ahead. What's the next two? And then we're gonna.
Yeah, we're finishing up the irons, and then I feel like you're gonna get crucified. So let's ease you in.
I'm gonna get crucified.
We're gonna ease you into the crucifixion. And we'll do it upside down, just for extra irony. But first, Iron Juglis.
Okay. Hydreigon is a Hydra dragon.
Yes, and a badass one.
And a super badass one. It did not need a paradox. Period. And for spite purposes, you took a creature of ancient lore and myth whose mythology stretches back to before 0 BC, and you made it a future paradox?
You made it a cyberpunk Hydra, essentially.
I'm sorry, anyone can build a cyberpunk Hydra robot. But for what I would want to see, would if you were gonna make Hydreigon a paradox Pokemon, make it a past paradox Pokemon, make it a pseudo legendary, make it where you only encounter one of them, and then make it absolutely horrifically terrifying, like Primordial Fear, 5-headed Death Dragon.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, just make it look like fucking Orochimaru from goddamn Japanese mythology. Like, this absolute nightmare, but it doesn't need to be a cyberpunk Hydra. So,
Okay.
so yeah. And last, Iron Thorns.
Last before we get to the ones I'm gonna get crucified for.
Yeah.
Alright, Iron Thorns. We don't need Mechagodzilla the Pokemon.
Mechagodzilla Pokemon.
We don't need Mechagodzilla the Pokemon. That's my entire statement. I have nothing else to say.
You know what? I can agree. We don't need a Godzilla Pokemon crossover. We have other things for that.
Okay, now we're gonna do these one for one because each of us have two remaining.
Oh,
We're gonna
perfect.
start with Watchful, and we're gonna start with the one that I don't like that he put on this list because I think this Pokemon. I have been. This is the one Pokemon in Gen 7 I have been looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Boltund on this list?
Bolt.
Why is the good boy on this list?
Oh, yeah, Bolton. Okay, so the reason why I put Bolton on this list, for one reason, and one reason only, I just prefer the Corgi Lightning dog. I, honest to God, did not evolve my little Corgi boy. I don't care that Bolton's stats are better. I don't care that it looks like super fast and grease lightning. I want my little Corgi boy. I love Corgis. I really do. They're my favorite dog of all time. And I do not like that it becomes super skinny, sleek, and turns into this thing. Like, on spite principle alone, I do not like Bolton.
Okay, first off, you do not. Like, I'm not even gonna hide it. Boltund is going to do not talk bad about my boy. First off. Second, Boltund is like the one Pokemon in Gen 7. And the first time ever, I might actually shiny hunt. He is a fantastic boy, and he reminds me in every way, shape, and form of Pixar's Bolt or DreamWorks. I don't know. It's the CGI movie about the dog that's a movie star named Bolt.
Yes, yes,
I
Bolt.
loved that movie. I love that little dog, and Bolt Hunt reminds me of him in every way, and I would actually shiny hunt him. So
Mm,
do not talk bad about my boy. All right. I'm about to get yelled at a
yeah.
lot.
So let's start with the one you'll probably get less likely to get yelled at. An easy win. Yeah, Swampert.
I don't like his entire line. I don't like Mudkip. I'm gonna get like everyone's like, you picked Turtwig and you don't like Mudkip. I don't like Mudkip. Mudkip is just he's an awful design to me. And he just so there's that. His evolution is that awkward teenage phase, and then you get to Swampert. Swampert makes me gag. His design makes him look like a big, fat, ugly fish frog. And on top of that, his typing makes him just stupidly overpowered for Generation 3. Because the only thing he's weak to in Gen 3 is grass. That's it. And it just makes me absolutely disgusted at how ridiculously OP he is. And on top of the fact his design is just, it makes me cringe. He acts like a puppy dog and he has the body of a frog.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow.
I'm imagining you like this boy.
Okay, so I will freely admit, water type is probably the type I picked the least as far as starters. And that's not to say I hate the water types. I love Squirtle. Squirtle's probably my favorite starter in Gen 1. But I will say this. I don't hate this Pokemon, or any of its line for that matter. I don't know. I don't see myself using it too much. I would probably put it in mid because it's not my favorite. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. It's like right in the middle for me.
Okay. Now the one that you're going to get all the hatred for from the entire world. Everyone thought Toxagiri was bad. Dun Sparse.
Dun dun.
What's wrong with Dun?
Okay, one. You want to talk about a Pokemon that didn't need an evolution? Dunsparce is the definition of why
evolution at all.
he doesn't need an evolution. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Dunsparce in general, but at the very least, I get the design of Dunsparce. But then Dunsparce, okay, I don't like its name, and I hate that its name goes into its main gimmick, that Dunsparce is just like, it's Dunsparce, but now there's two connected, like ass to mouth, like it's the goddamn human centipede. And I'm just like, no, I don't care that you're bigger. I don't care that there's two of you. It's the dumbest idea for an evolution ever. Just make Dunsparce, but now there's two of them. Like, just connected, ass to mouth. I don't like it.
All right. I can see where you're coming from, but I can also totally disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Dunsparce has not had any love whatsoever since he came out in Gen 2. I met him in Gen 2. We caught him. We couldn't really find a place to use him or to make him shine like I tried for a while to just make him be something cool, and Dunsparce just couldn't do it. So, and then he has like an entire Pokemon episode to just him where all the kids love Dunsparce. So it's like neat, but having Dunsparce have a branch tier evolution where it's either going to be 2-stack or 3-stack, and it's only an aesthetic evolution. It's the first time we've had a branch tier that's only aesthetic. That's only an aesthetic evolution, but then he gets this massive, insane move pool. Dunsparce has 82 TMs that can be used on him. He literally can be anything you want.
He's a Swiss
and
Army
the only
Pokemon.
thing he's weak to is fighting.
Like,
I can't. He's Elite Four material. He's not my girl. She's not my girl, but she's definitely Elite Four material. All right.
I'm not gonna fight you on any of that. I can get where you're coming from. I love the utility of it, don't get me wrong, but I just hate it on principle of its evolution. But okay,
right.
so
Now the part.
last one, and this one, I'm almost certain you're gonna get crucified upside down style. And so,
I took a shot of
Septile.
whiskey for this.
Septile, explain yourself.
So first off, I know DeBurch's favorite Pokemon, and he's a guy who hangs out on my stream all the time, and he draws random artwork because he gets inspired by what he's listening to on my streams. His favorite Pokemon is Septile. He gave me a Septile for Gen 6, and I have loved and nurtured it, taken care of it. I hate its entire line.
Ooh.
But I hate Septile the most. And I'm going to explain. So Septile comes from Generation 4. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or he comes from Generation 3. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he comes from Gen 3. And I hate him. He's strictly grass type. He's special attack only. So like he's got two things going against him. He's the first grass type that's not physical, and he's a grass type that's all he does is just go from small lizard to bigger lizard to biggest lizard. That's all he does. But then we get to Gen 6. And Gen 6 is where I just scream. He gets a mega evolution. I'm sorry. He gets a mega evolution? No. And then when I look at his mega evolution, he gets dragon type, and all his mega evolution really is he turned around. I know there's other aesthetic details to it, but the primary thing was he just turned around.
He just turned around.
Like, yeah, okay, sure. The leaves on his arms get a little bigger. He gets leaves on his shoulders, and he gets like these little indentions in his horns. And his eyes get like eyeliner. But most of his mega evolution is he just turns around. When I saw that mega evolution, I was just like, I hate it. I hate that I understand that all the Gen 3 starters get a mega evolution. I'm just gonna let that go. I'm just gonna let that go. They deserve it, all three of them, because they've been around forever. They needed some love, and it was nice to see non-Kanto Pokemon getting Mega Evolutions. But yeah, I hate him. I don't like him. I don't like the way his stats are based. I don't like the way his moves are based, and most importantly, I don't like his Mega Evolution design at all. And you know what? Go ahead, crucify me. Let me have it.
Well, I'm gonna let the internet have it on that because for me personally, I don't hate Sceptile. Obviously, not as much as you do. That being said, it is the starter I think of probably the least out of all the starters. I don't like outright hate any of the starters. I gotta really think about that. But Sceptile would probably be definitely in the lower D, because it's the one I would think of the absolute least out of all of them. So I'll let the internet decide your fate.
And it gets worse for me. It gets worse for me
Uh-huh.
because I'm looking at Gen 7 and I'm going, okay, there are two of you that I really love and adore. And Gen 6, I loved all the starters. And then Gen 5 and 8, I don't want any of them. I don't like any of the starters in Gen 5 or 8. But hey, nobody talk bad about my boy Quaxly. Quaxly's amazing. Anyway,
So
that's
yeah.
the list. That's
So,
both our lists.
yeah.
If you want to see where my list ended up, go in the description and look at Watchful's video. Then you get to see where Fiora's list ended up. And if you want to see where, and over here on my video, you can see Watchful's list and how it ended up with me. But yeah, I think that's it. It took 2 hours to get through this. I am so sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. This was fun.
This was a ton of fun. I am looking forward to recording the next segment of the D&D book, the D&D Monster Manual Smasher Pass with you,
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that too.
because that's dragons.
Yep.
We're just starting it with dragons.
Yep.
But what do you guys think? I want to hear what Watchful's audience thinks of my choices. I'm gonna go on Watchful's comments and just be like, "Ooh, hey."
Yes. So yeah, please give your thoughts and crucify feet gently, please.
I drink whiskey for this.